Hi, let's jump right in. Now, what you're looking at might seem like just a book, but trust me, it's so much more. Think of it as a mysterious, long-lost strategy guide for the most complex game ever created. And that game? Well, it's the one we are all playing every single day. I mean, seriously, have you ever felt that? That feeling that life is this huge, super complex game and you just never got the rule book? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. So with that, let's get into character here. Welcome players to Earth Online, the most realistic, most immersive open-world MMORPG in existence. And today, we're going to crack open a guide from one of the best to ever play. So here it is. This is our lost strategy guide. It's called FangShuJiYi. And you can think of it as an ancient text full of, well, forgotten arts. Let's call them special skills for navigating this crazy game. And who's the author? A guy named i-Ching. But don't think of him as just an author. He's more like a legendary max-level player. You know, the kind of guy who's already beaten the final boss and is just leaving his notes behind for the rest of us still grinding away? But here's where it gets really wild. Right at the start, the author hits you with this. Studying Buddhism is more important than these strange arts. Whoa! I mean, what kind of strategy guide starts like that? He's telling us right off the bat, this is not about finding cheat codes or some secret exploit. Nope. This is about leveling up your character. All right, so let's get into the actual gameplay. First up, we're starting with what's basically the tutorial mission, learning how to read another player's stats. The skill is called FangShu, which is the art of observation. And in our game, Earth Online, this is like your inspect player skill. You know how you can click on someone and see their health bar, their buffs, their debuffs? That's exactly what this is. It's about reading their hidden stats, health, personality, maybe even their luck, just by looking at them. It's the ultimate player info panel. Okay, that sounds cool in theory, right? But how does it actually work? Let's look at a classic in-game quest log. This is the story of the legendary physician Bianca and his encounter with Duke Huan of Qi. So Bianque, our high-level player, rolls up to the Duke and immediately, ping, he spots a debuff, a negative status effect. He tells the Duke, hey, you've got a minor issue. It's just on your skin. Easy fix. But the Duke, he just blows him off. Fast forward 10 days. Bianque sees him again and is like, okay, warning number 2, the debuff has now spread to your bloodstream. The Duke's getting pretty annoyed now. 10 more days go by, and this time Bianque is dead serious. It's over, he says. The infection is in your organs. The Duke is furious, kicks him out. And then the final encounter. 10 days later, Bianque sees the Duke from a distance and just bolts. He runs. Why? Because you could see the guy's HP was about to drop to 0. The debuff was fatal. Game over. Now that is how you use the observation skill. Okay, so you've mastered the tutorial. You can read a basic character panel. Now it's time to explore the skill tree and look at some of the more advanced abilities. Because a real pro player doesn't just look at health bars, right? They dig into the game's hidden lore. And man, the skill tree in Earth Online is huge. You've got text deciphering, which is basically like finding cheat codes hidden in the game's lore files. Then there's dream analysis. Think of that as sorting through the data packets the server sends to your brain during server maintenance every night. And for the real endgame players, there's even world event prophecy, analyzing patterns to predict the next big server-wide event. Pretty wild, huh? But, you know, with any great MMORPG comes a less great part. What am I talking about? Scammers. Yeah. The guys spamming the global chat, selling gold, promising power leveling services to get you to max level in a day. So, of course, this strategy guide has a whole chapter on how to spot the cheaters. And our max level guide, i-Ching, gives us the ultimate pro tip for avoiding scams. And it's this simple quote: every art has its limits. Seriously, that's it. He's saying that knowing the limitations of these skills is the key. If you don't, you'll fall for anything. This is probably the best anti-scam advice you will ever hear in-game or out. So here's the breakdown. A real master player, they're going to be honest. They'll tell you their skills have limits, they have cooldowns, they'll explain how things work, the cause and effect, and they'll teach you how to think. But a scammer? Pfft, they promise you the moon. They promise impossible things. They sell you instant gratification because they're playing on 2 of the biggest human exploits, fear and greed. I think we've all seen that before, right? Okay, so we've gone through the tutorial, we've looked at the advanced skill trees, and we've learned how to spot the scammers. That brings us to the most important part, the end game. What's it all for? What is the final quest in Earth Online? After learning all this stuff, what's the point? How do you actually use this guide to level up your character? This is it. This is the absolute core of the entire guide?
And the answer is probably not what you think. The goal isn't to predict the future. It's not about trying to win the lottery. The real endgame quest is to master the present, to understand where you are right now, and then work on leveling up from there.
Because every single skill in this guide, all the wisdom, it all boils down to one single core game mechanic, and that is cause and effect. That's the physics engine of this entire game. Every action has a reaction. So what's the ultimate strategy? Forget about trying to guess the final score. Just focus on planting good seeds right here, right now. You know, if you do the right things today, the good outcomes you're looking for, well, they'll just happen. That's how a master plays the game.
So there you have it. We've just unboxed the Lost Strategy Guide. The tutorial's over, so now the question is for you. You've got the guide. How are you going to play your game?